This book was written at a time when we still had hope. Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of the classic science fiction book Daybreak 2250 AD by Andre Norton. This is a book from 1952, so that's 70 years ago, from Ace Books. So this is going to be a pretty short review because while the book is entertaining and fun, there really isn't a lot to talk about. Nothing that was particularly noteworthy and nothing made me mad, so that's good. As usual, I'll be doing a spoiler-free review at the start, followed by my classic sci-fi bingo, which has spoilers in it. I'll let you know when that's coming. First of all, what is Daybreak 2250 AD about? Forrest was a mutant. He did not know what drove him to explore the empty lands to the north, where the great skeleton ruins of the old civilization rusted away in the wreckage of mankind's hopes. But he could not resist the urging that led him through danger and adventure to the place where he faced the menace of the Starmen. Pardon me if my voice sounds weird because I'm still congested from a cold I had last week. It's awful. Anyway, so yes, this book is post-apocalyptic, if you couldn't figure that out. It also checks off all the classic post-apocalyptic tropes of radiation-ravaged wasteland, mutants, more mutants, abandoned towns, new civilizations, and feral beasts. It's awesome. In terms of characters, though, Forrest is pretty typical of 1950s sci-fi. He strikes out on his own because his town doesn't like him because his mom was a plainswoman, and he's also, as they say, a mutant due to his hair color and that he can see in the dark. It's not explained how this mutation occurred. In this world, there are collections of small societies, the mountain people, where Forrest is from, the roving plains people, and the dark people, who survived because during the nuclear bombardment, they were in airplanes, and then they landed somewhere, but that area became uninhabitable, so now they're seeking to create a home in the plains as well, and that's where the kind of contention between the groups happens. They don't like one another, and this is part of the plot later on that is kind of, ties into the themes of kind of rejuvenation after a collapse. This book was written at a time when we still had hope for the future. So what spurs Forrest to go on this quest or adventure is that he was denied a spot as a starman, which is an explorer and a forager. And he's denied this due to his heritage, so he's kind of screw that, and he takes off on his own. He's young. They don't really say how young he is, but I'm presuming he's 20, even though in this book he looks like he's I don't know, my dad's age. For the first bit of the book, it's just him and his giant cat Laura, but he soon meets a friend, Ars Kane, I think that's how you say it, who is pretty much the same as Forrest, but he's a bit more fiery. They're both determined, tough young men, and I liked them, but they weren't very deep. The setting really is the best part. If you love wastelands, this is a classic depiction. So there's habitable land around all these cities, which presumably were where the bombs were dropped, and the cities are radiation zones. Basically, they call them blue zones, and you can't go in there because you obviously die of radiation poisoning. There are parts, except Forrest can go. Not all cities are irradiated, or perhaps the radiation has died down. They don't really know. We don't really know. There are parts in the abandoned cities, though, and they're really fun. And there's quite a bit of action at the end that's pretty good. The main antagonist in the story is the Beastmen, who are essentially heavily mutated humans who have descended to a near primal state, and they also kind of look now like giant rats. The writing is typical for the era. It's very much a linear plot that is heavy on description and not a lot of interior focus, but the ideas behind it are very solid. I didn't love the book, but I very much enjoyed the book. I recommend it if you love post-apocalyptic stuff and don't mind kind of the dryness of a classic story like this. It moves at a pretty good pace for a book from 70 years ago. Now I'm going to move into my classic sci-fi bingo. So this is going to have spoilers. There's not a ton of spoilers because not a lot happens in this book, really. So, first of all, outdated science. This is relating to the title, Daybreak 2250 AD. This isn't really science, but when I was in university, maybe even late high school, so this was, 20 years ago, we started using BCE and CE instead of BC and AD to refer to time. I'm not sure if this is just a Canada thing, but the reason for the change is because BC means before Christ and AD is Anno Domini, in the year of the Lord. Those terms aren't very inclusive of most of the world or even of Canada, so the terms BCE, before Common Era, and CE, Common Era, are used now. Again, I'm not sure if this is a worldwide thing or what. Personally, I prefer the CE change, and I think it's a good change. I don't think we should be basing our history around one dude important to one religion. Either way, this doesn't get a bingo because it's not science. I just thought it was funny because, it is part of the title. So if it was written today, it would be Daybreak 2250 CE, I guess. I'm not really sure what the Daybreak has to do with anything, to be completely honest. But whatever. So you don't actually get a point for that. Spaceship blowing up, that doesn't happen. Predicting social changes. I'd say yes, because she's predicting that the world will end and we'll have new societies that spring from it. So it is a social change. I would say that it just kind of squeaks in and gets a bit of a check mark here. Sexy female scientists? No. Cool aliens? There's no aliens in this book, so that gets rid of the alien-human romance. A generation ship is not there. No space soldiers. No AI. No new worlds. No cyberpunk. Blatant sexism. No. There's just a dearth of women in the novel. Laura, the giant cat, does not count, even though she is a female cat, because she's not a woman. Yet there is a woman chief of the Dark People's community. I feel terrible saying that, which was great to see. One thing I did take issue with was that Fours spoke to her as equal to equal. That seems great. But if she had been a dude, Fours would have talked to her with deference, as he does the other male leaders he runs into. So while this depiction of a woman leader was a hit, it wasn't a home run. There is a cute little girl called Roseanne at one point, but aside from some female mannequins in a store window, there aren't any women in this book until page 153 out of 191. So can't really be sexist if you're not there. Okay, Forerunner technology. This is pushing it, but I'd say yes, because Fours and most of the people don't understand how to use old technology. They're exploring and studying it. So to them, it is Forerunner technology, because to them, it's completely new and novel. At one point, Fours finds a box of, it was either crayons or pencil crayons. I'm not really sure, but he's, obsessed with the fact that they, write in color. And I thought that was adorable. But, but something like that to him is, a big find. So imagine if they stumbled across some kind of an engine. He does drive a car at one point, actually. He and Arskane, they jump into a car and they manage to get it running, which doesn't really make sense to me because there's no gas, but maybe it had just enough gas to kind of start. I don't know. Anyway, they managed to send it roaming down a hill to escape some beast things. And that was honestly one of the best parts of the book. That was great. Anyway, so I'm saying yes to Forerunner technology. LGBTQ plus representation, nope. Portals or black holes, definitely not. Microfiche, unfortunately not. You would think they would have found one in the cities, but I guess he doesn't really go into too many buildings. The male MC is kind of a dick. No, he's not. He's nice for once. Racial equality, I'd say yes, in that Arskane is a person of color. I'm assuming, given the name of his community and the fact that they're always talking about how, pasty Fours is. Also, the fight between the communities had nothing to do about race, and there's no, stereotypes about race in the book, so I would say it does have racial equality, because the issues are the beast men and, just different kinds of lifestyles. The plains people want to rove around in the landscape. They want to be nomadic, and then the mountain people want to live in the mountain, and then the people from Arskane's community want to settle. So that's kind of where the issue is. They're fighting over territory, basically. The human condition. Plasma or other future weapons? Nope. Post-apocalyptic? 100% yes. Bounty hunters or assassins? Nope. Galactic war? We don't even get out of the galaxy. I don't think we even get out of the United States, if it's even set in the States. Tech similar to today? Not even. There's pencil crayons? Passes the Bechdel test? No. Quick pick? There's no reptile aliens, there's no female main character, and there's no convergent evolution. So no, this does not get a bingo, but it was an enjoyable read, and I really liked it. And yeah, so check out Daybreak 2250 CE if you if you want a post-apocalyptic classic science fiction that very much fits the genre. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know if you've read this book in the comments.